Hey, welcome back to my shop. This is Bone Turning 101 Part 4. Because I had a number of questions that came from some emails, I want to hope to explain. Number one is bone turning, breathing bone dust is not a good idea. It's not healthy. You can see that I have filled up a container full of nothing but bone dust, which I hope to be using for a future project. On here, I've got the bone stuck. I like using an Allen wrench and working wand to take the bone discs out. All right. The questions I had about the about the barrel trimmer is I have a set screw here, and I can actually pull it up and clean out these gullets, when they start getting overfilled. So I like that. That's a nice little added point, help. It helps me a lot. I was also asked, why am I using a diamond hole saw? Why can't I use a normal hole saw? The reason being is that I am working very close to if I get a catch, I'm in trouble. Diamond's bone does not cut well, but what it does is it scrapes beautifully. The diamond impregnated hole saw grinds its way through. There's no teeth. Although you do have a clearance in these here, it's not the clearance is cutting. It's the grinding down of the diamond through the bone that creates the cut. Okay. We're going to go over here. Again, what we're working on is this. Here's three more magnifying glass handles that I made just recently. Okay. What we're going to be able to do is you can see that the color matching is pretty good. This one's got a couple different colors in there, but this one's pretty decent. This one, again, there's no for sure way of being able to get color match. But what I like to do is I'll take all my bone discs that I cut, and then I'll match them out by color. Okay, and the whitest ones will be, and these are all, I've already gone through these. There's still maybe one or two that are slightly diminished. But what I do is when I find a bone that has color to it, give you an example. This guy here, very, very yellow compared to what we're working with. So what I do is I take the colored bones and I'll put them in a jar and put them in hydrogen peroxide. 3% hydrogen peroxide, the stuff we use for when you get a boo-boo or whatever. It's kept in the medicine cabinet at home. And you can see that they've only been in for a couple days, and they're starting to get extremely white. Every one of these, this disc right here actually came out of that yellow bin right here. You can see that they're starting to get very white. I'll leave them in the hydrogen peroxide, and it will leach out any of the oils. You can see oil residue in here. Here's a newer batch I just made up today. You can see I've got some downright brown looking bones. There's nothing wrong with it other than that's the color. Well, you can see that this one's sort of yellower and this one's starting to become white. And you can see that the hydrogen peroxide leaches the color out without damaging the bone. And also, it removes a bunch of the oil that's in the bone naturally. This bone right here is very yellow. It's this is not from this is a normal bone that a friend of mine gave me. It's not been dried. It's still got a lot of grease. Very slippery. The hydrogen peroxide takes the oil out, so it makes it not only white but makes it easier to glue. Once we get this, I do what I call the, just like a normal pin turning. I have a shaft right here on a block of wood. I put a piece of plastic on to catch any drippings from the glue. And I put the barrel right over top. Now I'm going to stack this up with the bones. And what I like to do is I like at the ends, the two ends, I'll put the thickest bone at the ends. And then if I go thick, thin, whatever, and I go variable random thicknesses, it'll make it less uniformed. Now you can see that there is a little bit of color in here, but you're never going to get all exactly every single bone to be just bright white. Here's some that I've already done up. Now I'm going to put this on the lathe and turn it flat and smooth and remove the extra glue. And a lot of this extra burn marks from the bone saw will remove, and it'll end up being very much like these guys, where you can see there is a little different color, but it's a natural material. There's very little we can do other than sorting through and trying to find nothing but the whitest of the white. Okay. I found another trick that I like to do is that I will take, now the larger, I've had two bone saw. I have two disc making sets. One makes an 1.25 inch disc. Now you can see that these are on a much thinner than for big ones. So the wider you get, the thinner it's going to get. But what I like doing is I'll take the bones and I'll stack them up in a profile. And what this will do for me is that it will give me a larger profile. So I don't need to have all big bone here. I've got 3 or 4 discs right here, 3 or 4 discs right here, and all these are the same size as the 1/2 inch that we've got. This one right here is going to have an end. It's going to taper down to an end. It's pretty simple. The last other trick that I just learned is that now I've always used CA glue with the accelerator, but in the past I've always used 2-part epoxy or Gorilla Glue clear. I'm not saying that they're good or bad, but they do work well. But what I found that's really neat is that I will put the glue in the bones and put it in my vise and hold it. Then I'll take it with a rubber glove on, of course. I'll take the CA glue and put it over on the outsides while it's in the vise. I hit the accelerator, wait 3-4 minutes, and then I can remove it. The bone itself, the glue is still not set, but I can take it out of the holder and then do it. So I can actually, with 1 or 2 individual bars, I could actually do all my bones in one big glue up. So I would have a number of individual blanks all ready to go. There's a lot of different possibilities, and it's simple. It's just a simple matter of just putting the bone down, putting glue on there, bring it down, smooth it out, put glue on there, drop it down, put glue down, and work all the way up to the top. Put it in the vise, hit it with some accelerator, and wait a few minutes. You can pull it right off and do it again. Back to the hydrogen peroxide. Now, this is 2% hydrogen peroxide, and you can see that it whitens the bones pretty good. Once I take them out, I'm going to let them sit for about a week usually. And once I take them out, I dry them off. And then what I like doing is I put them in a dehydrator. There's a number of different kinds. I have a Dexington dryer that will take the moisture out. That works really well for me. I've actually also used, on smaller batches, I've used white rice. I put the rice in with the bone, and the rice will soak up any moisture that may be in the bone. It's a little slower than just taking right from the bone and gluing them up, but I'm trying to get the highest color, or they get the highest clean color look, instead of having all these different oddball browns and blues and all these colors that the bones can give. That's pretty much it. If you have any more questions, please contact me at Legacy Ornamental Mills Users Group on Google, and I'd be glad to answer any questions you may have. Have yourself a good day. We'll talk to you all later.